Hey peeps, thanks for peeping. As you remember last time, Cherry was trying to defeat the Tribot in this hallway, and she did pretty good up toward the end, and then she was kept saving, and then eventually she couldn't save anymore. But then, if it's by a miracle, a stranger come down, and he kind of took over and saved her. And he has some sort of skills at first aid, so he's done some first aid. So I got her back to one heart. But anyway, she's fading in and out of consciousness. But when she fades back in, he's standing before her. So the first thing we want to know is this person, is this stranger from that other ship? Remember, there was another ship down there. We've been wondering where they are. We knew they weren't here yet. So what we're going to do, I think, I'm going to do a standard test because we don't know 100% of. They could be other people here too. This could be someone else. I'm just using this particular avatar to represent them until I can find out who they are. So let's put the dice out there. We're going to do a standard roll. If it's a success, then we're going to say it's a person from that other ship. So let's see. Oh, it is not a person from that other ship. So where do we go from here? So let me think about it for a second, and I'll come right back to you. Okay, so I have an idea, but let's see what Alone in the Dark can bring up for us. So let's clear this out. This is going to be for the hundreds. 300. This is 40. 341. Well, let's go see what that is. I had to bring it up before I came back in here. So 341. It's on the top, Alex. On the top. We should remember this by now. 340. Oh, there it was. Oh, that's a interesting little icon, like a heart with electricity running to it. That's what I'm getting from it anyway. Heart with electricity. All right. So let's do. They always say do 2 rolls on it. So let's go back and clear them out. This is the hundreds. Oh, 5. 500. 20. 521. That's kind of interesting. The other one's 300, so this one's 521. We'll go back and see what we got there. Luckily, we won't have to scroll as much. 5, 2, 1. There it is. Oh, like a yin and yang. That is interesting. Okay, I think I can work with this. So she's sitting there and she's like, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm Creature X. Don't you recognize me?" And she sits there for a few minutes and she's like, "No, you died." And she sort of tries to start to get up because she's starting to get kind of worried here. What's going on? And he's like, "Oh no, take it easy. You're not doing well." She says, "Well, neither were you. You were dead up there. I took your suit from you. Well, you left your old one." And she gets to looking, and she could swear it said something else, but now it says Cherry 1. He says, "I just put your suit on." She said, "But it wasn't damaged well ago. When you first come out here. It wasn't until she's starting to try. Maybe she's not trusting him too much. So she sort of backs away a little bit. Who are you really? Let's see how he reacts. If he rolls a success, I'll put him out there first, then he will try to con her into believing. I'm Creature X. Remember, we were up on the station. I helped save you. We got to this ship. We landed here. We crashed actually, and then we fought that one robot when we first come in here, and I came down here after I came to, and I seen you were fighting that one, and I was gonna save you. She's like, oh, but I could swear you were dead. I wouldn't have left you like that. He said, no, it's okay. I mean, I can understand. You was in a hurry and you was trying to move. You're trying to just get to some safety. Now we're in really bad shape because both of us are in injured or destroyed spacesuits. So we got to get somewhere where it's safe. She says, yeah, I was fixing to head to this door and see what's going on with it. So she starts to walk slowly down the hall, and Creature X, quotations, follows behind her. She's still, I don't think she's 100%. I'm going to roll. If it's a success, then I'm going to say she's not 100% on board. Because that would be her kicking in against his attempts to trick her. No, she's trying to believe. It's like maybe it's a comfort in believing that he's still alive, that she still has that ally from earlier. And it does look like him. So she starts to move towards the door to examine it and figure out how they're going to get out, and he falls behind her. When Cherry Wing gets to the door, she starts to open it, and she says, well, maybe we should check and see if the next room is safe. I mean, when I came down here, this area here still wasn't pressurized or something. And he says, yeah, that's a good idea. Can I borrow the tablet? Maybe I can see if I can punch into the system and figure out if it's done, or I can fix it down in there. She says, sure, and she hands it to him. He's going to roll with advantage. Put him out there. He starts tippy-tapping away with the little tablet, and he says, okay, it wasn't on yet, but I've got it coming on. She says, I tried to do that, and I never could get it to come through. I'm pretty sure you did in the past. He says, well, a couple of times of messing with it, I finally got it right, I guess. She says, yeah, I guess. And after a few minutes, he looks at the readout, and he says, okay, it's pressurized. We can go into that next area. He says, you know how to open the doors, right? And she says, yeah, there's like a button here, like a tentacle could go into. He says, yeah, just go and push it and it'll open. She starts to go over towards it. She puts her hand in it. It opens and it slides open, and the next area is nice and lit up and ready to go. And she can tell that the oxygen levels are fine in there. He says, well, come on, you first. As Cherry enters the room and Creature X walks up behind her, she sees the vast room, and she sees there towards one end of it, there's a large ship. She can't miss it. And it looks in fairly good condition, other than the fact it's covered in some dust. But she looks above it. She can see a opening there that would open up. She's not quite sure how, but it should. She also notices these 4 cryo chambers, and she runs over to one and she says, these look just like the ones on the space station where I woke up. And Creature X comes over and says, yeah, they sure do. They look exactly like them. She says, kind of strange that they'd be way up there and then also down here. It is kind of odd. Maybe the people who run the space station are the same people that had this base here. But there's so much dust on everything. She goes over to another one. She's looking at it. And I want to see, can she read what's written on the cryo chamber? So we're going to give her 2. We'll throw them out. 2, give her standard test. Then roll. No, she can't make heads or tails of it. He says, what are you trying to do? So she said, well, I was trying to see if there's any kind of writing on this to tell us who's in here. They don't look like they've been opened. And so when she's fiddling around, she can see that there's still energy going to it. There's still, some kind of power source. She can see some lights lighting up here and there. She says, I think they're still running. I wonder if there's people inside that can be released. Yeah, me too. He says, maybe we should try to open them. We don't know what kind of person it is, Cherry 1 says. It could be anybody. But I do think we should get in that ship. She starts to head towards the ship, and he says, I think we should open these up. She said, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, we don't know who they are. Maybe they don't want to be woke up. Maybe they're left here for a reason. Well, you're wanting to take off with their ship. I would imagine when they wake up, they want a ship to get out of here with. We'll let her roll one more time on standard, because this is kind of a strange behavior, so they might break her from thinking that this is really Creature X. No, she's not going to. So she's like, okay, so you maybe think it's more people like us, that maybe they had them caged up in these cryo chambers for some reason. It might have been. I wonder how you open them. He gets out the tablet. Throw that extra one in here. He starts tippy tapping away. He says, I do know how to open them. He's looking through some stuff. He says, I want to open this one. And he goes over to it and he's tapping in. He's getting something to work. And about that time, it opens up. As it opens, a strange green creature with those same 3 legs that the tribots had, but also with a pair of strange, almost tentacle-like arms, 2 of them, in the front that it holds up kind of like a praying mantis or a Tyrannosaurus Rex would. And it stands there as it pulls itself up out of the cryo chamber and looks around the room. And it stares straight at Creature X and it says, "Thank you, old man." And Creature X says, "No problem." And then all of a sudden, he collapses to the ground. Cherry 1 looks in horror. "What's going on? Who are you?" And the creature says, "No, calm down, calm down. He was already dead. We both know that." And Cherry 1's backing away. She's looking for the entrance to the craft, and she's trying to get out because obviously this thing has been somehow controlling Creature X to get him released. So let's see. Let's move this over a little bit and see what she can do. If she can figure out how to get in there, we'll give her one chance to figure out how to open the spaceship and to get in there. And if she can get in there, maybe she can escape before this thing can get her. I mean, she's assuming it's going to get her. We don't know yet of what this thing is up to. So it's going to be I give her a standard. Wait a minute, get them out there, and then we'll roll them. No, she cannot figure out. She's panicking. She's trying to get hold of the thing because right now she is at a low. Let me set that up better. She's just got 1, and this is his actual score, and he's got 5, excuse me, right now. So she's trying to open the door, and he says, "No, wait," says, "I'm not trying to harm you. In fact, if you'll remember, I used the old man here to go get you and save you." She sort of sits there for a few minutes. What would be Cherry's reaction? We're going to do a standard. If she succeeds, she's going to calm down a little bit and hear what he has to say. If not, and she's panicking and she's going to be trying to leave, she may even attack him. I mean, she still has her telekinesis. So let's see what she does. Okay, she starts to calm down and she says, okay. Who are you? And why are you here? And how did you use Creature X? He sits there for a few minutes and he's like, well, first of all, not unlike you, which I already know from reading his mind, I have certain abilities that kind of target me. Alright, when y'all turned all this stuff on, it awakened my sleeping mind, and I was able to reach out and figure out what was going on. And I took over the old man's mind, and I found out who y'all were and what was going on, well, as much as I could from y'all's non-working minds, where y'all have lost so much memory. He said, but I used him to come here and let me out. Cherry's like, okay, I get that, but who are you? What are you? And why are you here? Like I said, I was targeted, like you, for being a psionics person, and they imprisoned me here. But I'm one of the special cases where they wanted to use me in the future. And they want to, if they have to, they'd wake me up and use me. But luckily, what they didn't know, for me anyway, is that I can control things. Even when I'm in cryo. So, still, you're not telling me what your name is. I'm Blizzden. I am a Doramon. I'm not from this planet. This is one of the many planets that my people have hollowed out and used its resources, for better or for worse. If I'm not mistaken, you are from one of the space stations nearby, from what I'm reading from Creature X's dying mind. But, like I said, Blizzden means you no harm. In fact, he can't wait to get off this little planet either, and maybe make some distance between me and this world and whatever else is here. I'm sure you feel the same way. Cherry sits there for a few minutes and she's like, okay, so they just imprisoned you because you're psionics, you said? Yes, psionics is like abilities and things that you can do with your mind. In my case, I can control things through connecting with them with telepathy. And with that same telepathy, I can read and get information off of people. Like your friend here, he's passed on, and as he's fading out, I can still read a lot of his memories. So it's like you can control the dead? Yes, but I could also control the living. But yeah, as you can see right now, I'm not doing that. If I wanted to, I could control you and make you help me. But I'm wanting you to do it of your own accord. He gets a little bit closer to her. He says, so like I said, my name is Blizzden. I'm going to assume your name is Cherry One. She says, I'm not certain. I don't remember what my name is. I don't remember who I was or what my life was like before I came out of one of these cryo chambers. So like you were saying, they were the same, right? She said, yeah. So that you were on a Doramon craft, more than likely. A space station. My people, when they find civilizations that are falling into decay or going to become too chaotic, they'll sometimes collect people from them so that they'll have a record of different civilizations. And I will assume that your buddy here and you are from such a civilization that was falling apart. And they were probably going to hold you in cryo till they could figure out how to repopulate you on a safe planet. It's kind of their thing. They hate for any kind of evolved creature to fade into extinction if there's a possibility for them. And I got to imagine if they know that you had psionics, which I'm not sure they did, they would have put you away for later to be used. To be used? Sounds terrible. No. They don't think with feelings anymore. They don't do things based on personal. They do it based on the group. Not just Doraemon, but everyone. Unfortunately, having this trait has made me a target, and I would gladly leave here. She said, wait a minute. What's the other three? Are they the same as you? He said, nah. They're the people that would keep me in line, stop me from leaving here without them going with me. Should we let them loose? I'd rather we didn't. So Cherry sits there. She's thinking about these things. She's thinking of what he's saying, that the Doraemon have maybe came to whatever her civilization was and seen that they were falling apart. Even in her memories that she has so far, she was in a bunker. These Nikan warriors were coming to get them, and she was trapped under some rubble, and then one of the Nikan warriors was digging her out, and that's the last thing she remembers. So maybe that was at a point when everything was falling apart, and they come and got them. How? We don't know. We don't have that memory yet. But you know what? Let's try that memory. Let's see what memory she sees beyond. I remember I was giving her an advantage. Does this release a memory? Let me put them out there. Does this release a memory? No, she doesn't. She doesn't remember anything. So she's like, okay, so what now? He says, well, first of all, we're not releasing them. Don't worry. They won't die. And if eventually they realize we have left, which I'm sure this base has something to tell on us, someone of their people, the Doraemon, will come here and release them. So let's see if she's buying this. Well, we don't really know his intention. Blizzton might be telling the truth. We don't know yet. But, well, as the person, again, I guess you're solo, you're still a GM. Let's see, is Blizzton telling the truth? So if it's a success, he's telling the truth. So I'm going to give him a standard. So 2 dice out. Alright. No, he's not telling the truth. Nothing he is saying is true. Or is half true. Right? So we don't really know why he's imprisoned yet. But now here's the other question. Does Cherry 100% believe what's going on? Does she believe it? If it's a success, then she can see through the fact that he might be lying. Alright, so let's roll. No. She's buying it. She's buying it all together. So she's like, oh, okay, so you're wanting to leave here. He says, yes, don't worry. The Doraemon will come back for these guys. It'll be okay. She says, you've got that tablet, which is a Doraemon tablet, I believe, and I fully understand it. Well, I've got the tablet now. So he sees it. He goes back over to Creature X, and he grabs that tablet and the other pistol, a laser pistol, and she gets to looking at it, and she's like, where did you get the laser pistol? I took Creature X's laser pistol. He says, oh, they kept it in the hallway over there, and I had the old man dig it out. She notices it is a little bit different than the one that she has, that they'd found up on the ship. In fact, it's made more for a doorman's hand. But he grabs the space tablet as well from him. He's got one in each tentacle holding them. He says, I really don't need this laser pistol, but I figured we'd keep it with us. And he sort of puts it to his side, and it was like that bulbous thing on the bottom of him, and it's like it sort of sticks to it. But he's still got the tablet in the other hand. And he comes back over. He says, all right, I'm trying to hook in. I'm going to go ahead and start initiating this craft, getting it started, and we'll get inside of it. She says, okay, so where are we going? He says, I don't know. Once we get out of here, we'll figure out where we're at, and we'll travel on. So he starts a sequence of unlocking it, and we'll find out what happens to him next time. So thanks for watching.